Do you remember that in trigonometry, there's a few important aspects? So it is always done, or now in grade 10 in any case, you do trigonometry and right angle triangles. There are 3 ratios that we call the trig ratios for trigonometry. And those are called sine, cos, and tan. Now, if we talk about sine of an angle, let's call it theta, then we talk about the opposite over the hypotenuse. And maybe what we should do first is to draw our right angle triangle here. There's theta, there's my 90 degrees, and across from the theta, we literally go from the theta across, and we call that the opposite side. And across from the 90 degrees, we call that the hypotenuse side. Hypotenuse. And then the side that's left over is the adjacent side. So when we go to theta and we talk about the opposite over the hypotenuse, that is sine. Cos theta is the adjacent over hypotenuse. And then the last one, tan theta, is opposite over adjacent. So opposite over adjacent. Okay, so that is what you basically learned in the beginning stages of trigonometry. So I just want you to think back to that and kind of remember all of that, and just put a thumbs up emoji in the chat if you can remember that and if you're happy with that. Thumbs up in the chat if you're good with sine, cos, and tan. Yes, Bokamusa, what can I do for you?
Hello, ma'am.
Hi there.
Yes, I wanted to ask, okay, so I am doing my maths, I'm doing it in Afrikaans. So I wanted to ask the hypotenuse, it's most the skynsy, right? I just want to be sure.
I think that's right, skynsy, yeah.
Okay, is right. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so most people are giving thumbs up. Okay, good stuff.
All looks good.
Okay, so let's see how well you remember this. And we're now going to practice it in this diagram. Using this diagram here, determine the following using the diagram, okay? So sine of beta, I'm going to do the first one with you, and then I want you to do the others on your own. I'm going to give you some time. So sine of beta, beta is this angle over here. I'm going to highlight it in blue. So sine means opposite over hypotenuse. So that will be opposite side, that's 4 root 3, divided by the hypotenuse side, that's 8. Now we can simplify that further because 4 can go into itself once and into 8 twice. So we end up with root 3 over 2. Okay, so I want you to do question 2, 3, 4, and 5 on your own. Pop your answers in the chat as soon as you're ready, and we're going to check back in about, let's say, 2 minutes at 1:15. And don't be shy to pop your answers in the chat. Okay, so Andre, the opposite side will be 4 if the angle is alpha. So it all depends on what angle you are using. Okay, Mokoko Wale, you need to just tell me what I need to repeat because I've said quite a bit, so just be a bit more specific about what you want me to repeat. Okay, I'll repeat number one more time. So sine of beta, beta is my angle here that I highlighted in blue. I am doing sine. So remember that sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cos is adjacent over hypotenuse, and tan is opposite over adjacent. So katoa. You would have learned that somewhere along the line, or another rhyme for the 3 different trig ratios. So sine of beta is opposite over hypotenuse. The opposite side for beta is 4√3, and the hypotenuse side is 8. So that's why we put 4√3 over 8. Now 4√3 over 8, you can just pop that into your calculator to simplify it. But 4 divided by 8 is a half, so this is going to go simplify down to √3 over 2. Okay, well done, Mvuyo and Analisiwe. Number 2, 1,2. Okay. Let's see, grade 10s. Pop your answers in the chat. And then let's see where it says it is 3. Okay, so question 2. Cos of alpha. Let's do alpha in a different color. So alpha, let's do that in bright pink. So cos of alpha. So the opposite side for alpha will be this one here, where there's a 4. And the hypotenuse stays the hypotenuse. So that will always be the one across from the 90 degrees. And the adjacent side is this one here. So opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse. That's for alpha. So cos of alpha, cos is adjacent over hypotenuse. So that is 4√3. That's the adjacent side, 4√3 divided by 8. Adjacent over hypotenuse. And it actually, that ends up being the same as the one in question 1. So 4√3 over 8, which we can then simplify further. Okay, Lonelo, go for it. Everyone else, carry on. Please do question 3, 4, and 5. Lonelo, unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
Hi.
Hi there.
Can't we like show the picture of our answers? Because turn on the camera because I can't really type out the answers.
Unfortunately, we don't have the technology for that. You can do what the other learners are doing. They're writing it in words, 4√3 over 8. So you can do that.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay, Luand, is it just Luand? You have your hand up. Go for it.
Is it Londo?
Is it Luando or just Luand? Go for it. Please ask quickly. We're waiting for you. Sorry, Luanda, I've just put you on mute because there's a very sharp noise in the back. So, Mr. Lucky, please have a chat with Luanda to see how we can support him over there.
Yep, on to it.
Okay, right. Guys, please hold questions for the next few minutes. We just need to get through this exercise. So let's go to question 3. Question 3 is tan of beta. So tan of beta is tan is going to be opposite over adjacent. So we look at the blue, the opposite over adjacent. Adjacent for the beta is the 4. So tan of beta is going to be 4 root 3 over 4, and that's going to simplify down. If you can't do this in your head or on your own, just use your calculator, and that's going to give you root 3. I see a few of you got that. Well done. Let's go on to question 4. So for question 4, we've got sine of alpha. Let's see if we can ask someone to give us the answer here. Sine of alpha, question 4. Let's see. Okay. I see 1 or 2 people got that right. So sine of alpha, we are switching to pink. So alpha, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So that's 4 divided by 8. And that is a half. Okay. You can also on your, if you are typing your answer, yes, you can write 4 over 8. But you can also, there's a slash button that you can use. And you can type it like this. Let me show you 1 over 2 like that. That's also fine. Okay, guys, I'm just holding questions until we are finished with this little exercise. Okay, so then tan of alpha, alpha is over here, tan is opposite over adjacent, so that is 4 over 4 root 3. And that is going to simplify even further. So that goes into itself and there, and then we have 1 over root 3. Okay. Right. So well done to those who put some answers up for us. That's great. Yes, Bukamusa, what is your question?
Yes, ma'am. By number 4. Yes, number 4. I saw the final answer was a half. It was a half. But then I don't quite understand how it actually became a half, because I got root 3. My final answer was root 3 over 2. So I don't understand where I went wrong.
So for question 4, we're doing sine of alpha. It's opposite over hypotenuse, so it's 4 divided by 8, and 4 divided by 8 is a half. Okay, so check that you did, yeah, it was sine, so it's opposite over hypotenuse.
Oh, it's okay, thank you.
Okay. Right, everybody. So let's move on. This is also something you would have done last term already when you did trigonometry. Can anyone either put it in the chat or put your hand up if you know, how will we go about finding in this triangle the length of AB? How will we do that? Look at what we've got. We've got an angle, 49, and we've got another side. So all we've got is an angle and a side. Monica is saying we're going to use cos. Okay, I think that's a really good idea, because if we use cos, we use trigonometry. So important that you remember, maybe just a reminder, Pythagoras is still there. It is something that we still have in our toolbox to use when we're working with right angle triangles. But for Pythagoras, you always need 2 sides to work out a third missing side. But in trigonometry, you can work out a side and an angle if you just have one side and one angle. You don't need 2 sides. Okay, so we're going to go for cos. So if we're looking at our 49, let's place our sides. So this is going to be the opposite. This is the adjacent. This is the hypotenuse. We are using cos because we have the hypotenuse side. we are looking for the adjacent side. So we always use the trig ratio with the side that we have and the side that we want. So we have this side, the hypotenuse, but we're looking for the adjacent side. And our angle is 49. So cos of 49 is adjacent over hypotenuse, which is 4,1. Now, I want you to quickly solve that. Solve what A is and put your answer in the chat. 30 seconds, do that quickly. Use your calculator for cos 49 and to solve and to work out the answer. 30 seconds, please post in the chat. What is your answer for the missing side? Offense says 2,68. Monica says 2,68. Come on, I want to see some more answers, guys. Don't be shy. Post in the chat. Say Chaba, Mokokobale, Mvuyo. Everyone's saying 2.68. So now I'm wondering. I hope you guys are all working it out. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to times by 4,1 on both sides. So 4,1 times cos of 49 is going to give me that missing adjacent side. And that is just some calculator work. And we should all be getting 2,69 if we are rounding to 2 decimal places. So please make sure you're rounding correctly. 2 decimal places. Right. Can I get a thumbs up or a thumbs down in the chat? See how we are doing with finding sides in a triangle. Please put a thumbs up or a thumbs down in the chat to show me how you are feeling about this. Wonderful. Thumbs down from Bokamuso, sorry. Remember, we are always using using the trig ratio with the side that's given and the side that we are trying to work out. Those of you who are giving us thumbs down, tell us why. Where are you stuck? What is it that you need to know more about? Because we are now going to move on to finding a missing angle. Okay. So we are going to practice a lot more missing sides and missing angles, but let's quickly go over how to do this again. So we are looking, in this example, we want an angle. So we are going to use which trig ratio to find this
You didn't
angle.
take it off here.
Which trig ratio are we going to use to find the angle in question A? Monica says sine. Medine says sine as well. Sorry, Mr. Shongwe, there is somebody who needs to be muted, please. Guys, keep yourselves on mute, please. It creates unnecessary noise in the back. Okay, so sine, because this is the opposite, this is the hypotenuse, this is the adjacent, and since we've got the opposite and the hypotenuse, we can go 4/10. But still, how are we going to get the actual angle? What must we do on our calculator? What must we do on our calculator? If you know how to do it, then post your answer in the chat. or arc sine. Luandisa, well done. Press shift. Yes, that is it. Arc sine, press shift. That is what we do. Okay, so shift sine of 4/10. And put it in the chat if you have the answer. That's it. Sure, Monica, you're super fast. 23,57. I agree. Oh, I actually agree with Machlali because we must round to 2 decimal places. Careful with your rounding, everybody. You got to round correctly. It is actually something that you will lose marks for. Okay, so here we go. Next one. Now the chance for you to try. I'm going to give you 1 minute to do it. Check back at 17:31. Give this one a go on your own. And this time around, I don't want you to put your answer in the chat, okay? We are going to reserve our answers for this one. Hold back your answer. Don't put your answer in the chat. We'll just check it together in about a minute. Okay, off you go.
Okay. See, that means one.
Okay, there's a few people who are ready. I'm going to give it just a few more seconds. Okay. Right, let's have a look. So in this case, let's use green this time. Here's my angle, x. This is the opposite. This is the adjacent. This is the hypotenuse. So since we want this angle x, we have the opposite and the adjacent. So that is tan. Tan of x is 9/11. How do I find x? I need to press shift x on my calculator, shift tan on my calculator. So we go shift tan, 9/11, and that gives me 39,29 degrees. Okay, if you got it right, give me a thumbs up in the chat. Nice one. Nice. Excellent. Okay. Right, so here's our big job for the evening. Okay, let's hold up quickly. If you got a really tiny answer like 0,818, that means you probably forgot to press your shift button. Okay, so you must press shift tan 9/11, and then you will get the right answer. Okay, so those of you who are getting a tiny answer like 0,818, you have forgotten to press the shift button. Okay, so when we work out an angle, a missing angle for a given trig ratio, we have to press the shift button. Okay. Right, everybody. So I think it is time for a little leg stretch. So there where you are at your computer, and let's just stretch a little bit. to make sure that we are still awake. Let's give it a bit of a shake. Hey, Mr. Lucky, can you show us how you are stretching and shaking? Hey, shake those fingers. bit of a bit of side stretch. Here we go. Just to get the blood flowing again.
You better be stretching, eh?
Hey.
I'm saying they better be stretching. We can't be stretching alone.
Yeah, I think we must work in a little bit of mini yoga every
That would be
lesson.
nice.
Okay. Right, so let's do the next round of questions. We are going to find the missing lengths. Okay, so I'm going to give you 3 minutes to do question A, B, and C. Okay, so be careful how they are numbered. We have A, and then D, and then B, and then, yeah. So just look at the numbering carefully. We are going to do A, B, and C now in 3 minutes. So at 17:39, we are going to check back. So work quietly on your own for 3 minutes, and then we're going to check back, see how you did with these 3 questions. Okay, it's a challenge to get them done in 3 minutes. So off you go, work fast, work accurately. Claire, you can also use the Zoom on your computer screen if you need to zoom in. Amachle, we are going to check back at 17:39. Then I will do the question, but I want you to try first, okay? It is just like the question we just did on the previous page. I'm going to go back to that question. I'm going to put that question up quickly, take a screenshot, see what we did, and I'll go back just now again to our practice questions. Okay, Marcle, so quickly take a screenshot of this question. It's going to help you do the other ones. Okay. Cool.
Bokam also has a hand up.
Go for it. Bukamusa, ask your question.
Ma'am, I don't know. I think I'm doing something wrong, but I'm getting a little lost. So, by the first question, number A, I got that the thing I have to use sin of 31 degrees in order to find the answer. But then I am getting a little stuck because they're at the point whereby I was supposed to take sin to the other side so that can be sin 5 centimeters so I can get the other side. I'm not sure.
Okay, so just remember that you're now doing sine of 31 degrees. So we're back to solving for sides. So we're not going to solve for an angle. We're going to solve for a side now. So it'll be sine of 35 is opposite over hypotenuse, x over 5. So now you have to solve for x. So that's, it's not
so
sine of x. Yeah.
Oh, so I'm actually supposed to first work out sin 31 degrees before I can go and change the sides and numbers to the other side.
I'm not entirely sure what you mean, but I'll just start it. So maybe it helps if I just show you the first bit. So it's sine 31 equals opposite over hypotenuse, like that. And now you're going to solve for x.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, no problem. I actually switched them. Instead of saying x over 5, I said 5 over x.
Yeah, you must be careful not to do that because it's opposite hypotenuse and sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Okay. Okay. Right. So since we are already busy with this one and time is up, we're going to solve for x here. We solve for x by timesing both sides by 5. So we're going to times by 5 and times by 5 here as well. And we're going to get x is 5 times sine 31. And that is 2,58 centimeters. Okay. Who got that first one right? Put a thumbs up emoji in the chat if you got that first one right. X is 2,58. Well done. Good stuff. Right, let's do this next one. Opposite, hypotenuse, adjacent. So we are going to use opposite and adjacent, that is tan. So tan of 14 degrees is x over 8. Okay, so 1 decimal place. Yeah, that's correct because that's what the question says. So 2,6 is also right. No problem. Okay, so we've got tan 14 is x over 8. We're going to times by 8 on both sides. So x is 8 times tan 14. And that gives me 1,9. Well, we have to round to 1 decimal place. So that's actually going to round to 2. X is equal to 2. Okay, and then the last one, we've got adjacent, hypotenuse, opposite. So if we're going to use adjacent and hypotenuse, that is going to be cos. Cos of 52 is x over 7,5. And then we times by 7,5 on both sides. And then we get x is 7.5 times cos of 52, and that is 4,6. Okay, so that was with sides. Okay, I'll just put a bit more detail here about how we actually get the x by itself. We are dividing the x by 7,5. So we times by 7,5 on both sides. Because if I'm going to times by 7/5 here, that is going to divide. But what I do on one side, I must do on the other side as well. So that's why you times by 7,5 times by cos 52. Yes, don't you worry. We are going to do more examples very, very soon. Like right now. Okay. Let's do some angles. We have been neglecting the angles. Okay, guys, important. You use the sides that you have, the one that is given. Let's just go back here. The side that you have, the one that is given, and the unknown side, which is x. That is the adjacent and the hypotenuse. That gives me cos. Okay. Right. You can take a quick screenshot of this if you want to have that, a record of your lesson. But we're going to take 5 more minutes quickly and practice our angles, how to find angles. Okay. Let's go here. We're going to do question E and question B. There we go. Thanks, Mr. Lucky. So katoa, opposite hypotenuse, adjacent hypotenuse, opposite adjacent. Okay. 2 minutes. Let's do question B and question E. 2 decimal places rounding. Okay, and we'll check back at 17:48.
Bakamoso, your hand is up.
Ask your question.
Yes, ma'am, I wanted to ask by number B. So I can see that we already have 2 sides. We have 2 sides. So are we not going to make use of the Pythagoras method?
No, because we are now going to solve for an angle. The value of y that we need to solve for is where an angle is. So we need to use trigonometry now to find the angle, just like we did earlier on in the lesson when we did shift on our calculator with the trig ratio, etc.
So that means we're going to make use of tan here in order to get y. Am I correct?
Okay, I think Bokamusa, when you start the question, label your sides. Okay, so here's my angle. This is the opposite. This is the hypotenuse. This is the adjacent. Always label your triangle with the opposite, hypotenuse, and adjacent. And that's going to help you be able to use the correct trig ratio. Because we're not going to use tan. We're using opposite and hypotenuse, and that is sine.
Oh, okay. Now I'll make use of that.
Okay. Right, let's post some answers in the chat. If you've got an answer for question B, put it in the chat, and the same for question E. Lunello, make sure we are finding an angle, okay? So again, you see there, you've got a really tiny answer for question E. That is normally an alarm bell that something's wrong because that angle can't be that tiny number, okay? So you must use your shift button. Use the shift button on your calculator. Okay, a few of you are coming in with an answer of 48.6 and 48,9. Okay, let's see what this is. So like I explained to Bukamusa, we are going to use sine in this first one. So that is opposite over hypotenuse, 15 over 20. And because we are solving for an angle, we need to use our calculator and go shift sine 15 over 20. And that gives me 48,59. So well done. I see quite a few of you got that. That's excellent. Okay, next one. Let's label our sides again until we are more confident. Opposite, adjacent. Okay, in this case, we've got the opposite and the adjacent side. So we have tan of y is 6,8 over 7,5. Has anyone got an answer for us here? I don't see many answers for question E. Maybe people didn't get a chance to finish. Never mind. I'll leave it up so you can take screenshots and go practice. So we're going to go shift tan 6.8 over 7.5. That gives me 42,2. Because we go 197, so that's going to push the 9 up into a 2. Okay, right. That is that for today. You can take a screenshot if you want to go practice.